If you have patellar chondromalacia, you've come to the right place because I'm going to show you the best 5 exercises both to relieve the symptoms and to slow its progression. As you may already know, chondromalacia is nothing more than the wear that occurs between the kneecap and the femur in that small triangular channel that exists between them. And it's basically due to the genetics you've inherited from your ancestors, and secondly, to the lack of strength, the muscle imbalance that exists around the kneecap. The most important thing you must always keep in mind is that the anterior pressure in your knee is higher when we are between the ranges of 60 and 90 degrees of flexion, so we will try to avoid that type of movement throughout the entire routine, and I also encourage you to avoid them in your daily life to reduce the stress on the femoropatellar joint. Before we start, I want to invite you to a very, very special event that, in fact, only takes place once a year. It's called Knee Week, 7 days where you will learn the best exercises and tips to improve your knee pain. It doesn't matter if you have osteoarthritis, meniscus issues, chondromalacia, patellar problems, or any knee condition causing pain. I'm going to leave the link right up here in the top right corner of the screen or below in the first comment in the description. You go in here, leave your email, and that's it. Further down, you'll find what we're going to cover each day, and a little further down, the schedule, depending on your country. And if you don't want to miss any communication about the event, what I recommend is that once you leave your email, you join the WhatsApp group, a community where your number will never be visible, and where I'm the only one able to send messages so you don't miss any communication. Because we already know how emails are, they always end up in the spam or promotions folder. Alright, after this, let's move on to the exercises. First, we lie on our backs. I want you to focus on your right knee, which we will use as an example for the exercises. We lie on our backs, one leg stays bent, and the other we are going to keep completely straight. I'll move a little more into the camera, and from here what we're going to do is work on the quadriceps, the muscles on the front part of our leg. I want you to pull your toes strongly toward you, really, really hard. I'll show you from another angle over here. And next, I want you to lift your leg, not too much, since the most important force comes exactly when we start to lift that leg off the ground. Hold the position for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then relax. Here, obviously, since there is no knee flexion, there is no risk to the kneecap, to that patellar groove where chondromalacia occurs. We'll do 10 reps, and I'll share extra tips to help you get the most from the exercise. If you feel comfortable, if it gives you good sensations, 2. What we're gonna do is move that tip a little more outward. What we'll do this way is strengthen the inner vastus, which is the innermost part of your knee, and stabilizes the kneecap inside the knee with greater quality. 3. Toe pointing toward me, I lift. Not too much, keep the contraction. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4. Let's go again. Toe toward me, contract, lift. 2, 3, 4, and 5, relax. 5 more, toe toward me, leg fully stretched. It's absolutely essential that the knee is really, really straight. We rest. Relax. 6, toe toward me, up. 7. We only have 3 left, toe toward me, up. 8. Last 2, toe toward me, up. That's why 9, we switch cameras, last repetition. Toe toward me, up. 10. Very good. Let's rest. Let's make a small back and forth movement with our knees to relax that quadriceps muscle. I'm only going to show you 1 set of each exercise, but you can add 2 or 3, depending on the time you have. No worries, we'll discuss that at the end of the video. Very good. Second exercise, glute work. Actually, the glutes are absolutely essential for aligning your femur with your tibia, and therefore the kneecap. The kneecap is also completely affected. The key point is what I already told you. We don't have to bend those knees more than 60 degrees. So we're going to do a bridge that's lighter, more focused on the posterior muscles. And we're going to place those legs at about 60 degrees, as you can see here on the screen. I advise against having those legs at 90 degrees, and I advise against having those legs between 60 and 90 degrees. So if you want, take out your angle protractor to know exactly what position you are placing your knees in if this position feels uncomfortable for you. What we can also do is place a somewhat thick cushion where we can rest our feet to make the exercise more comfortable. Knees at 60 degrees, feet supported, arms at sides. From here it's very simple. We lift our pelvis up strongly, maintaining a good glute contraction. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we relax. Just touch without letting your body rest completely. Without relaxing, we lift again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Where do we feel the contraction? The back of the legs, the back of the pelvis. Great exercise. Let's go again. I take a breath to set the rhythm. Exhale, lift, and draw a straight line between my shoulders and my knees. 2, 3, I think we inhale down, exhale. 5. Exhale. 5, 6. Exhale. 6, 7, 8, just 4 left up. 8, 9. Remember that those knees shouldn't be bent more than 60 degrees. 8. 9, last rep. On 10, we go down, place our feet, relax those muscles by making small bike bend movements, and breathe. Remember, the greatest shearing force or greatest anterior compression will occur when we work between 60 and 90 degrees, and that's what we really have to avoid, both in exercises and in our daily life. Let's stand up to look at the last 3 exercises, which again focus on strengthening and stabilizing our spine. Come closer to a wall and we'll continue with it. The next exercise is a wall isometric squat, one of the best ways again to strengthen the quadriceps without putting too much stress on the joint. Patellofemoral. For this, remember the same rule as always. We shouldn't bend those knees more than 60 degrees. I invite you to step slightly away from the wall. Usually it's about the length of your foot. Stand with both feet on the ground, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Point your toes slightly outward, and from here, we sit against the wall. Here, for example, you would have about 30, 35, or 40 degrees of knee flexion. What I'm going to do is move my feet a little further forward so I can bend my knees a bit more. In this position, I would basically be at 60 degrees of knee flexion, and this is the position I should maintain for at least 60 seconds. It's a simple position, maybe not challenging enough for athletes, but it can stimulate the quadriceps very well. For those people who are more sedentary or who don't exercise regularly, we stand up very straight with our shoulders against the wall, the back of our neck against the wall, and from here we close our eyes and breathe. The lower back may arch. You don't need it to be in full contact with the wall. From here we hold the position. It should last at least 60 seconds and up to 5-10 minutes based on your ability to hold it. If it's too easy, what you can do is grab some weight, pick up a water jug, grab some plates, place them on your thighs, and hold the position. In any case, I don't recommend going any lower, because again, by doing so, we create higher anterior tension inside the knee. That's something we're not interested in at all. I'm going to stay here for 30 more seconds, just to keep you company while you do the exercise. And then we'll move on to the next one. We should feel a contraction. In fact, if you touch your thighs here, you'll probably notice they're a little bit harder. If you're more sedentary, I suggest placing a chair or furniture nearby to lean on, so you can return to the starting position when finished. What happens? Normally, in this position, we end up extremely fatigued, and when we stand up, we're going to have more difficulties. That will give us greater safety and allow us to work while minimizing the risk of falling as much as possible. Imagine your workouts are going well and you want to try something more intense. Let's add some movement, okay? We stand up from the same position we were in, hands at waist level. I lower my buttocks, bending my hips well as if I wanted to touch the wall with them. I touch back and then lift my pelvis forward. Be careful, because usually when doing this exercise, we're going to produce a little more knee flexion than we had before. Be careful, so make sure it doesn't go beyond those 60 degrees approximately. We go down, we touch, and then we return to the starting position. 2 or 3, I don't know. We go down, we touch, we touch, and up 5. We go down, we touch, and up 6. You might think that squats are bad for your knees, or you may have heard something similar. Let me tell you, that's completely wrong. We're working a very small range of motion, which is not going to harm your knees. On the contrary, it will stimulate all those structures around them to provide greater stability and strength to those same structures, so that in the future they allow you to do exercises and movements without any kind of pain. Let's do 2 more. Down, up, last repetition. Touch. And up again. If it's a very simple exercise that barely stimulates your quadriceps, we can do the following. Take some weight, place it on the palms of our hands, elbows out, which exponentially increases the difficulty of the exercise. From here, repeat the movement. Lower down, glutes touch, then return to start. The more weight I add, the slower the exercise is, the greater the muscular demand will be. And the benefits? So don't hesitate to add more weight. More sets, more repetitions if you want the exercise to be more intense. Let's do the last exercise. A really good one that works your knee and hip stability to the max. And for that, I like to bring a chair so we can support ourselves again and reduce the risk of falling. Here it is. The goal is to have an extra point of support to improve stability and exponentially reduce the risk of falling. We're going to do the example with the right leg, so I want you to also place your right hand on the chair. During the exercise, it will be the leg that's down that will work the most on strength and knee stability. Pay close attention. Right hand, right leg, supported on the chair. I want you to lean forward as you bring your chest toward the back of the chair, forming a parallel line between your leg and the floor. The leg that's working here is the right one, as I've already told you, with a slight knee bend that doesn't go beyond 15-20 degrees. From here, you're going to notice a lot of stability in the foot that's working hard, the knee that's working hard, and the hip that's working hard. We hold for a few seconds, and then we go back to the starting position, and that will be 1 repetition. I lean forward, bring my chest toward the back of the chair, keep my right leg parallel to the floor, hold the position, working the entire right leg for support, and then I come back up. 8, 9, 12, 13, 21, 27. It's ideal to work on both sides, even if you only have patellar control on your right side. Let's go back up. 3. Most of the time, what happens is that we leave this leg behind, way down. We don't lean enough, and therefore the exercise doesn't create enough tension at the level of the supporting knee. So pay close attention, place a mirror nearby, record yourself, do whatever is necessary so that the exercise looks as much as possible like what I'm showing you here on the screen. Let's move apart a little bit. 4, forward. We're back 5. To make it harder, we can skip using the chair for support. But be careful. This is only suitable for people who are in a situation of high athletic ability. And we could even add some weight in the opposite hand, the left hand, to make the exercise harder, more challenging, and make it more difficult for us to hold the final position. Let's do 3 more. Two. 1. And 0. Impressive exercise, isn't it? It's certainly not for everyone. Anywhere, in any case, always try to do exercises adapted to your abilities, reducing the range, reducing the contraction time. The important thing is not whether you do them or not, but to find that small gray area that best suits your abilities and makes you work, but not too intense. We've reached the end of the video. I've shown you 5 exercises and recommend doing them all. Do 2-3 sets of 10 reps every other day, such as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I'm sure that in a period of 3 to 4 months, you're going to achieve an absolutely impressive improvement, which will probably start to become noticeable after 3 or 4 weeks. Let me remind you that very soon on September 8th, Knee Week will take place. It's a unique event that takes place once a year. It's free, where we'll cover many exercises like these and understand what true recovery from your knee pain is based on. To sign up, I invite you to click on the link that appears down below in the video description or in the first comment. You can share it with anyone else who might be interested. You just go in, leave your email, and you'll be signed up. It will be 7 days where I'll be live, giving you the most information so you can improve your quality of life. I just want to say goodbye, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying until the end. I hope to see you again very soon in one of my other videos. Bye, friends.